what led us to study about racism, about this particular topic. And I'll start. I was raised in the South in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and raised in diversity down into the South, but was able to go on the mission field. Lived in Africa for a few years, came to Memphis, and I think my whole journey really was what's the right word? My whole journey, had different points in it that pointed to this important subject. I came to Memphis realizing this is where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, and quickly realizing that there's still a lot of racial tension, even into the, 90s and 2000s. And so I always just had a passion. I mean, you read the Bible and you see, every race and every culture worshiping together in heaven. That's one of the theme verses in the book. And so I just always had a passion that, we would see that here on earth. What did Jesus say? He said, this is how you ought to pray. Whatever happens in heaven, Lord, let it happen here on earth.
Yeah.
Part of the Lord's Prayer. And so just was always something I was passionate about.
Yeah, well, for me, growing up in the Bronx at the time that I did, it was like in my first classes at school, it was like the United Nations. Like I was just always around all these different people from various backgrounds. My kindergarten class was like a Crayola box. It was just so beautiful to see the diversity. But as I got older, homogeny came around, and it just seemed like the context that I was in was predominantly Black, and I thought, well, there was such beauty to all of the different personalities and backgrounds. And so when I became a Christian and wanted to lead a church, I was like, I want a church that's diverse. I was in the Midwest, and I loved some of the context of these large churches that had great music, contemporary music, and great preaching. But I felt like there wasn't a diverse expression, particularly, I'm going to keep it 100, a lot of Black pastors weren't pastoring diverse churches. I wanted to make sure that from the ground up, before we even started the church, that we were diverse from the beginning. And so I recruited people that I wanted to show in our leadership that we were diverse from the top. And then you and I met in New York City one day, and we were walking around talking about what now is a book. We were passionate about doing a series on diversity in both of our churches. We said, let's partner up and do it together. And the more we talked about it, it snowballed into something that
we originally did a series called Black Fists, White Knuckles, which has now become the subtitle of this book. And so really the message of the book is to move beyond black fists and move beyond white knuckles. And I think the message of the book really tells our story individually, but collectively of our desire to see, racial injustice defeated, right? And we kind of believe that's a part of our vision. It's a part of what we're called to do.
And I think what's important is that we felt like both sides needed to open up the hands. Sometimes the discussion on race is very one-directional.
It's true.
It's either this way or that way. We're saying, no, it moves in both directions.
Yeah.